Well, good Monday morning, everyone. We got off to a real cold start this morning. Fresh snow cover and a clear sky, always a recipe for cold temperatures here in the winter. And here's a few select areas around greater Youngstown here in Austintown, where I live. It was 4 degrees above zero, a little bit closer to downtown, 3 degrees. We had a 3-degree reading up here in Southington, and up near Cortland it was 4. 7 just to the east of Warren, Hubbard at 8, and 3 down in Columbiana this morning. So it was cold just about everywhere with single digits widespread throughout the Mahoning Valley. Surface map this morning shows a warm front on the left-hand side of the screen moving through Illinois. Ahead of the front, of course, it's cold, but we've got this little ridge of high pressure nosing up like this. You can see these lines of equal pressure, these isobars pointing upwards, and that's indicative of a little ridge, and that's why the sky was clear during the overnight last night. Now, this warm front is coming our way for later today, so despite the cold start, this afternoon will be noticeably milder, and the mild air is already getting into the Midwest. Take a look at the 24-hour temperature change map. This is how different the temperature is compared to the same time 24 hours ago. Out here in Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, readings are as much as 20 to 25 degrees warmer than yesterday morning at this time, and all of this air is in fact coming east. So despite starting out in the single digits this morning, we should be in pretty decent shape for this afternoon, with some parts of the area getting up to around 40 or so, which is a few degrees above the average. Here is that wind visualization map that I like to show, and you can easily pick out features on the weather map here. These lines show both the wind direction and speed. The closer together or the whiter, the brighter they look, well, the faster the wind is blowing. You can see kind of right in through here where the lines kind of diverge a little bit, and that's where our next cold front is. Behind the front, the wind is blowing out of the northwest, and the air is coming right out of Canada. It's turning colder. But ahead of the front, the wind is out of the south to southeast, the wind coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. So it's turning quite a bit warmer in places such as St. Louis and Louisville and Chicago, and eventually Detroit, Cleveland, and Youngstown will get in on some of this milder weather. Take a look at the national radar. It's pretty quiet this morning. Take a look. Not much going on. Some flurries in the upper Midwest, a little snow trying to break out in Nebraska. It is high and dry east of the Mississippi. A little bit of precipitation up in the Pacific Northwest this morning. The satellite perspective shows clouds thickening up ahead of that next system out across the Midwest. So it's mild, but it's turning cloudy in Chicago today. We'll hang on to the clear sky for a good chunk of this morning, and then I do think clouds across the Mahoning Valley will tend to increase as we go into the afternoon today. Let's take a look at a high-resolution computer model over the next 60 hours and see how things will transpire. Well, things will be pretty quiet right through this evening. Let's fast forward to this evening and tonight. Here we go at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're still dry, going all the way through about 11 o'clock tonight. The radar should be very quiet, but the radar should start to get active after midnight tonight in eastern Ohio and western PA. Here we go past 11 o'clock into the midnight hour, 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's starting to rain across the Buckeye State, and here at 3 a.m. tomorrow, the rain's pushing into the Mahoning Valley. And this will be rain at the onset. It will be warm enough. We'll be in the mid-30s during the course of tonight. So the rain's around through about daybreak tomorrow, maybe 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So kids who had the day off today and going back to school tomorrow probably do need the wet weather gear at the bus stop first thing in the morning. The rain then pushes away shortly after daybreak tomorrow, and then I do think the air is cold enough that it would support snow. Well, the problem is there's not going to be a whole lot of moisture around, so we're not looking for a lot of snow despite it being cold enough for snow during the course of tomorrow. There could be some snow showers that start flying mid-morning and continue into the afternoon, but these won't amount to much. There could be locally half an inch to an inch or so, but for most of us, this will be non-accumulating type snow during the midday and the afternoon tomorrow. And despite this model looking kind of quiet for tomorrow evening, I do think there's still some flurries in some parts of the region. As we take a look at the longer range, looking past tomorrow, things will be quiet on Wednesday. Here's Wednesday afternoon. There'll be some flurries, some snow showers around and up in the snow belts with this northwesterly flow. There could certainly be some additional accumulations, the flow of air right off of Lake Erie. So parts of Lake Geauga and Ashtabula counties, northern Trumbull County, could see a couple of inches worth of snow on Wednesday. It's not out of the realm of possibility Wednesday that if one or two of these stray lake-enhanced bands get down into parts of Mahoning County, Columbiana County, we could have kind of a repeat of what we had Saturday night with a sneaky couple of inches of snow. Again, that's an outside possibility, but something that can't quite be ruled out. Bottom line for Wednesday is most of the accumulating snow will be up in the snow belts. The lake effect machine shuts down on Thursday. Here's Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Maybe kind of cloudy in much of the region, but we should be relatively snow-free. This next system weakens as it heads east. Here's a look at Friday. Notice we do have some green on the map here, but it's pretty light precipitation. This may be some light rain, a little wet snow trying to mix in, so not a big deal, I don't think, for Friday. But the week will end on kind of an inclement note. Heading into the weekend, never too early to start thinking about the weekend, even on a Monday. Things are looking okay, just seasonably chilly. Storm possible for the East Coast. The European model doesn't really have it. This is the European computer model, which tends to be a little more accurate in the longer range. Not really much in the way of a storm on that model for the East Coast this weekend. This is the American GFS. If this were to verify, this would be kind of a snowy setup for New York City, Providence, and Boston on Saturday. Just what they don't need in eastern and southern New England. So some computer model differences in the longer range, but I think for us, no matter which model verifies for the East Coast, for us, the weekend should be pretty uneventful. Let's take a look at temperatures heading out over the next several days. This will take us through the end of the month, and this is the European computer model. I want to draw your attention to this top box here. This shows the temperatures. The straight orange line is the 32-degree line, and the top lines kind of colored in, well, magenta, or I'm not sure what this color is, but those are the expected high temperatures. The black line, the expected low temperatures, going all the way out through the 28th of the month. So we get a little bit warm today. Today, the 18th, we get up into the lower 40s. Not that cold tonight because temperatures will hold about steady in the upper 30s tonight. The rain pushes in. But then we do definitely get a shot of cold air for midweek. Take a look at Wednesday, the 20th, right here. The legend is over here on the left, so not much higher than 20 on Wednesday. We get down into the teens, perhaps single digits again Wednesday night. Then temperatures do trend upwards at the end of the week, and heading into the weekend, for the latter half of the week and heading into the weekend, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that we get well into the 40s by Saturday. That sounds pretty nice. Again, if the European model pans out to be correct, this is the European computer model we're looking at. Then in the longer range, there will be some variation, but the bottom line is I think we're fairly close to average at the end of the month. The average at the end of February is getting into the upper 30s, and for a lot of the time, that's right about where we should be. And taking a look at the real long range, this will take us out through the 6th of March on the GFS, what we call ensemble model. And basically this shows the temperature anomalies, the difference from average, through the 6th of the month. Straight black line is the average high temperature for each date. So the lines heading into the weekend, generally a little above average, but then the end of the month and heading into March, there may be a couple of days where we're a little below average, but we don't stray too far from the average, looks like, for the first few days of March. So, things kind of settle down a little bit after kind of a turbulent week this week. We start out cold this morning, it'll be milder this afternoon, and then cold for midweek, milder again at the end of the week. So a little roller coaster ride in the short term, perhaps not too much in the way of change in the long term. Jess will be on today at 21 News midday, and I'll be on tonight at 6 and 11. We'll keep the forecast updated, and have yourself a great Monday.